On January 6, 1540 AD, Anne of Cleves, the daughter of the Duke of Cleves, John III, married the King of England, Henry VIII. Henry wanted to marry Anne or her sister Amelia due to his kingdom wanting to form an alliance with John III and the Duchy of Cleves. Henry ordered his court painter, Hans Holbein the Younger, to paint miniatures of Anne and Amelia. He told him to make the portraits accurate as possible. After seeing the portraits of the sisters, he chose Anne because of the miniatures that Holbein painted. She was the prettier of the two. Henry sent his chief minister, Thomas Cromwell, to negotiate a marriage treaty with John III on March of 1539, and the deal was finalized on October 4th. Henry loved sophisticated and educated women, but Anne was neither. She received no education, but she loved to play cards, was skilled in needlecraft, but spoke only in German. When Anne finally arrived in England on New Year's Day, Henry went to visit her in disguise in the room she was staying. According to Charles Wriothesley, the author of A Chronicle of England during the reign of the Tudors, from AD 1485 to 1559, said about the visit. He went up into her chamber where the said Lady Anne was looking out of a window to see the bull baiting which was going on in the courtyard, and suddenly he embraced and kissed her, and showed her a token which the king had sent her for New Year's gift. And she, being abashed, and not knowing who it was, thanked him, and so he spoke with her. But she regarded him little, but always looked out the window. And when the king saw that she took so little notice of his coming, he went into another chamber, took off his cloak, came in again in a coat of purple velvet. And when the lords and knights saw his grace, they did him reverence. Henry wasn't impressed with Anne's beauty and didn't look like her miniature. He was also having second thoughts about the marriage. He said, "She is nothing so fair as she hath been reported. It was not that she come so far to my realm and the great preparations of the state that my people had made for her, and for fear of making a ruffle in the world and of driving her brother into the arms of the emperor and the French king, I would have not married her. But now it's too far gone. Wherefore, I am sorry." Henry confided to those at his court about Anne and his second thoughts as well about the wedding. "I promise you I have seen no such thing as hath been shown of her by pictures and report. I am ashamed that men have praised her as they have done, and I love her not." The king was furious with Hans Holbein for embellishing the beauty of Anne, and ordered Thomas Cromwell to find a legal way to void the marriage, but it was unable without upsetting the Holy Roman Empire. Cromwell was now on Henry's naughty list. The two were married at the Palace of Placentia on January 6, 1540, with the Archbishop of Canterbury, Thomas Cromwell, officiating the ceremony. The next day, Henry complained to Thomas Cromwell about Anne and why they didn't consummate the marriage that night after the wedding, saying, "Surely, my lord, I liked her before not well, but now I like her much worse. She has nothing fair, and have very evil smells about her. I took her to be no maid by reason of the closeness of her breast, and other tokens which, when I felt them, strike me so to the heart that I have neither will nor courage to prove the rest. I can have none appetite for the displeasant affairs. I have left her as good a maid, and I found her." The marriage between Anne and Henry was never consummated, and the king wanted an immediate annulment, and she was all for it. Her previous engagement several years earlier to the Duke of Lorraine, Francis I, was an excuse used by Henry VIII's court to dissolve the marriage. The union was annulled several months later, and Henry was free to choose another wife, while Anne was given the title the king's sister, along with the generous allowance and 2 houses. His new bride would be teenage Catherine Howard, who would create all kinds of shenanigans in the king's court, while Henry's trusted advisor and minister, Thomas Cromwell, would around the same time be arrested for crimes against the crown and would lose his head on the day of the king's marriage to Catherine Howard.